Hi Barkha. You have been writing columns which basically exaggerate India's fault lines like any other NGO and missionaries whose sole objective is to show India in bad light. You have been writing these columns in Washington Post. You have been doing videos which generally do not present India in its true light. I have no problems. It's your column, it's your video, it's your right to have free speech. You can say anything you feel like. I can criticize, I can give you my feedback, but I have no complaints. The reason I am doing this video is because in your recent video column, you have taken my name.
Your other great hero appears to be Vivek Agnihotri, the filmmaker who gave us this curious phrase, urban Naxals, basically gobbledygook for all those you guys disagree with, the man who calls all of us anti-nationals.
Barka, I have a question for you. If according to you, urban Naxals do not exist, and it's just my imagination, why are you so rattled? And if I'm lying, as a journalist, don't you think it's your duty to do good research, good investigation, and expose me? And expose all those people who are coming out with these theories of urban Naxals, people like the NSA, Mr. Ajit Doval, all the think tanks which are working on counter-terrorism. Why don't you do that? A 4-month-old child was killed in front of his parents, and then his intestines were open, and then he was buried in front of them. Naxals did it. Why don't you report that? Why don't you go to Bastar and report that how innocent Adivasis are being killed? Have you ever tried to investigate what is the role of all these professors, intellectuals, journalists? You know why? Because you are not a journalist anymore. You are using your profession just to play a victim card. And you have blamed me for something which is your failure. You failed to expose India's enemies, which are urban Naxals. As a journalist, it should have been your duty, your job. And when journalists like you failed to expose urban Naxals, who are the enemies of India, that's when 10 years ago I decided to take this job onto myself. And I have successfully done that. I have not just made a film to expose how dangerous they are. I have also written a book on that. I have written various columns, and I constantly, in a very focused, systematic and scientific manner, I keep exposing them day and night. I don't want India to be damaged, India's success story to be derailed by the enemies of India and foreign agencies with vested interest. These Naxals are sponsored, funded, trained by terrorist organizations. But I find you always defending these people. I want to ask you why. What is your motive? What is your agenda? Why are you doing this fake narrative, false propaganda that anybody who's against Modi's government is called urban Naxal? That's not true. I have not even once called anybody urban Naxal. You need more explaining than anybody else does. You need explaining why you see only negativity in this country and you never ever see anything good. Why is it that you are always against Hindus? What is your agenda? You are a journalist. You're not supposed to have agendas. You're not supposed to be biased. You're not supposed to be prejudiced. For people like us, it's fine. Not for you. You are the watchdog. You are the fourth pillar of this democracy. The reason you are so rattled today is because the ideas, the investigation, the journalism, the truth which should have come from you is coming from ordinary people, and you cannot take that. That has hurt your ego, and that's why you are into blame game. There's no point blaming me. If you think urban Naxals do not exist, please expose me. Otherwise, if you think we need a debate, I invite you to any place of your choice, any city, anywhere. You tell me why urban Naxals do not exist, and I'll tell you why they exist. We'll record it on a video and present it to the world, and then let the world decide what is right and what is wrong. You have spoken about Abhijit Iyer Mitra, so let me tell you one thing. I don't have to prove it to you. How do you know what I am doing for him? Have you done any research? Did you call me to ask Vivek, what are you doing to save your friend? You didn't do that. You assumed that we are not doing anything because people like you do not do anything for your friends. And unlike you, I act, not just blabber on TV. I have few tips for you. I think you should stop acting and do more journalism. Because I saw in this video you were overacting. In fact, you were hamming. And as a film director, you can call me anything, but you cannot take away my judgment on bad acting, and you were doing very, very bad acting. It was hamming. This kind of bad acting is done when a star is actually aging and is trying to compete with a lot of young people without any real charisma left with him. So stop that. Second thing is, focus on journalism. Believe in yourself again and believe less in gossips. Stop playing victim card. Stop blaming others. And very sincere advice, if you hit somebody below the belt, like you did in certain case with me, then be prepared that karma always comes back. Become a good journalist. Be I am Buddha.